Friday night in the shop, almost 7:15, and we're working on a 2006 Ford Taurus. Here's the issues. We got a check charging system light that keeps coming on. The battery dies pretty quick anytime the key is in on position. It runs rough, it stalls. The plugs, wires, and coils have already been replaced. We did have a code on I think it was the number 2 coil, primary secondary circuit voltage. So the coil was replaced, but that did not solve the problem. Replaced the battery. Pretty sure the battery in here was no good. It was 2 years old. It was checked by Advance. They said it was good. They wouldn't warrant it, so I went and got another battery, because I'll show you some video I took while the key was on. The battery voltage dropped dramatically. In less than 5 minutes it dropped to over 5 volts, and it's pulling about 10 amps with the key on. So I did initial search, and the codes on the scan tool, that's the only code it showed was the coil. But it was showing a fault on the fuel system. The fuel trim numbers would not move off 0, even on snap throttles, rev ups, whatever. You can sit here in idle or in park, and you can rev this thing up, and it'll be fine. You put it in drive, and it goes to shivering and shaking and stuff like that. So I'm just thinking that we got a problem with the PCM on this car. Unfortunately, Ford decided to put the PCM right on the firewall behind this intake plenum, and the only way to really test it is to take this plenum off to get to the wires. I mean, you can see this big bundle of wires here, but so I think what we're going to do is we're going to take this plenum off and do some testing. I've already got a PCM for it. It's already been programmed for the VIN. I've got 2 new keys I've got to program. Hopefully that solves the problem, but I won't know until I do some initial testing. Now, some background on this car. The battery was replaced 2 years ago. The alternator was replaced sometime last year. The charging system light went out for a few weeks, then came back. The starter was replaced back in December. Well, maybe even in January. Well, no, I'm sorry. The starter was replaced about 5 or 6 weeks ago. A couple of weeks after that, it started having issues. Now, I did the starter on this thing. I was in the middle of town trying to get it done. I was in a hurry. I left this ground wire off the engine. It attaches down here at the bell housing. So that ground wire was not connected to the engine. The car cranked up and ran fine for a couple of weeks, and now it's giving problems. So my theory is, somehow or another, I shorted the computer out. The coil is ground side switched from the computer, and I may have burned a ground wire up somewhere, and it's not getting that ground it needs. The only way to tell for sure is to get to the wires on the computer. So we're going to get this off tonight. Hopefully tomorrow I'll have time and come back and we'll do all the testing. So tonight I'm just going to get this off, and I'll bring you back for testing. Stuck. Alright. There it should be. So now we can actually see our wires going to the computer. There you go, a bunch of them right in here. It's just one single plug, got 2 bolts that will take stuff out. So the first thing I'm going to do is I still got the battery hooked up, so I want to check all my powers and grounds on it and make sure that everything's showing what it's supposed to. I'll use the test light to do that. Right, so number 25 is this black with white tracer right here. So I'm going to check it and find my light.
So we'll see, we got a light there. That's a good ground.
All right, everybody. This drawing right here and this is backwards. So pin 1 on the drawing is top left corner, and pin 1 on this plug is bottom left corner. So the one I was trying to get to, reason I couldn't get to it, but it looks like I'm gonna have to go back through this and recheck everything. I went ahead and took it loose to see if I could get anything off that wire, but there wasn't no wire in that space, so that's what got me looking. So I'm gonna recheck all my powers and grounds with it unplugged, and then we'll go from there if I can't find anything. Alright, so I've run all the checks, everything checked good. There's one circuit that gets power only in the start position. Of course, I'm not going to have power on it. I know it'll crank, so I know that's good. The fuel pump runs. I don't think it's the fuel pump module, fuel pump driver. Fuel pump comes on, runs, shuts off, and then when you crank it, it runs. And it could be fuel related, but what I'm thinking it's in the computer, because it's, and I'll show you a picture or video of this, what it's reading is fuel system 1 fault, or OL fault. None of the fuel trims are moving off of 0, even with snap throttles. We're pulling a lot of amps, so I think maybe one of the ground switches is stuck and it's sending power somewhere with the key on. It shouldn't be sending to. I don't know if it's going to these heated oxygen sensors. There's like 4 different oxygen sensors on here. I could unplug all the oxygen sensors and see if that helped the problem. I think I can get all of them now without too much difficulty. There's a couple underneath I'm not going to be able to get to probably. One in the front. There's one in the back right here. These wouldn't be too difficult to unplug, but there's 2 more below the cat that I'm not going to be able to get to. I think at this point I'm just going to go ahead and change this computer out and see if that don't solve the problem. I hate to be a part swapper, but it just seems awfully weird. I'm still getting a code on this coil with a new coil. So I know it's not the coil. I don't think it's a wiring issue. I don't see any obviously frayed wires. All the looms are still intact. I don't want to start tearing apart these looms. So I think our best course would be just to unbolt this computer, swap it out, and then we'll go from there. I can't crank it until I put the intake back on. So there's really no way of knowing whether this is going to work until I get everything back together. So I'll get everything swapped out and I'll bring it back. The computer's just 2 bolts. Pull it out, put a new one in, hook everything back up, bring it right back. Alright everybody, I just got her fired up. The computer I bought came with these keys already programmed to it. I just had to get them cut. Put one in, turn on 3 seconds, put the other in 3 seconds, and I put the original in for 3 seconds, and that's what's running it. It sounds so much better. It's still got just a little bit of vibration, a little bit of something that it idled up, and then it idled down. I guess the only thing left to do is to take it out and check it. I've got some vacuum lines, but there ain't no vacuum leaks. So we got some bad lines that run somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where they run. I plugged one right here that was broke. I had to go get a new battery in. The other one wouldn't tighten up. So I guess we're going to get this door open, take it for a test drive, and make sure the check engine light don't come back on. Right now it's off. Yeah, this car running much better. I do have a airbag light that's been flashing. Had the passenger airbag off, lit up right there, but it's gone away. Airbag light's flashing, so probably have to check that out and see what's going on. Other than that, as far as I know, everything else is good. Seems like it's gonna be sent on down the road. Appreciate you watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe if you liked it.